Where do fairies come from? From the dark. To find the origins of fairies, we must go back to the dark. Dark of our own past, dark of the world's past. Today we are bringing you another fashion fusion, this time what we are calling Bordello Fairy Chic. Though this series of ours focuses on us exploring fashion, delving briefly into the history behind the two styles is definitely informative for the clothing, especially since these two deal with beings from folklore and interior decor. Going behind the red curtain of Bordello chic decor, or also can be known as speakeasy style, your eyes will be met with the characteristics of Hollywood Regency, Rococo and Victorian Gothic. It engages with the shadows of nightlife, plays with the risque and the ostentatious identity of the aforementioned eras. There is more than meets the eye as the rooms hypnotize you to feel rather than see, creating a certain atmosphere of feelings with the glamorous yet cozy surroundings. In various instances, folklore tales referred to fairies or the fae as a group of different creatures, which includes but is not limited to fairies, gnomes, goblins, elves, and pixies. Hence, stepping into the realm of fairies is a much more labyrinthine path, as its origins are different to how they are seen today. The modern view of fairies often portrays them as light-hearted. However, the word fairy is derived from the Latin word fatum, meaning the fates. The description of fairies tied to all the legends is that they are perilous and powerful, mischievous and mercurial creatures who tamper with the destinies of humans. Folklorist Robert Kirk argued that fairies are the dead, or of a middle nature betwixt man and angels. Ultimately, you can see how the Bordello chic decor and the origins of fairies share the attribute of darkness. The fusion of these two we feel produce a bewitching imagery of a whimsical and gloomy garden of seduction. Fashion is the business of fantasy. When gathering inspiration for a style, it would be incomplete without mentioning the runway. Stepping into the world of the high end, you shall find this collection of shows embodying the feeling of lounging in a boudoir veiled in dim lighting with a glass of floral wine in hand. A dichotomous tune that is haunting yet exuberant embraces the room. Floors covered in a tapestry of tangled flowers, moss and vines that your stiletto heels have since crushed, whilst just out the window the starlit covered heels are accompanied by the moon and fireflies. Concerning the colour schemes, Bordello Chic more so utilises gem-like hues leaning towards the sultry, darker side, whilst the fairy style incorporates natural tones as written by William Shakespeare. Fairies, black, grey, green and white, you moonshine revellers and shades of the night. All in all, due to the broad nature of this fashion fusion, you can really create many complementary colour palettes. The Moulin Rouge, a nightclub, a dance hall and a bordello, a kingdom of nighttime pleasures, where the rich and powerful came to play with the young and beautiful creatures of the underworld. Moulin Rouge displays theatrical grandeur spiced in dreamlike enchantment. It is the quintessence of Bordello Chic style, but with more kitsch elements to adhere to the eccentric artist's theme. Though it is rich in opulence, we actually feel it fittingly marries the essence of this fashion fusion. Yes, fairy style is more rooted in nature, but at the helm of Bordello Chic and fairy style is this sense of magical mystique. Immersing oneself in the concept of magical mystique to sharpen other existing sources of inspiration would have you sat for hours, as the history of cinema is overflowing in using the genre of fairy tales and the aesthetic of ornateness. But we have created a montage of some more films for you that can assist in encapsulating this fashion fusion. Making mood boards are an incredibly useful tool to refine ideas. The following mood boards we have created ourselves in hopes that it can more specifically reflect the consistent theme. A central point we would focus on for Bordello Fairy Chic is the glamour of lingerie/sleepwear pieces together with flower or woodland motifs. The mixing of delicate and heavier fabrics, thus a combination of nature draped in luxury, is achieved. Looking at Bordello Chic, for example, you could grab pieces like corsets, lace camisoles, slip dresses, faux fur coats or scarves, shawls with tassel hems, velvet figure-hugging dresses, ruffled hems on items, and skirts with thigh splits. The fairy elements could be seen in billowing sheer blouses that allow for bralettes to be seen underneath, steampunk boots, waterfall skirts, hair clips or hats with flowers, Art Nouveau style necklaces, and leaf or twig cuff bracelets, just to name a few. Lastly, a point we will touch on in terms of how to wear lingerie pieces suitably for day or night is to focus on layering. For instance, putting a lace bra over a similar coloured slip dress to act kind of like a bodice. Garter belts around the waist to mimic an ordinary belt, or having a lace-trimmed nightgown peeking out from under a shorter length skirt. The role of jewellery for this fashion fusion is especially crucial as it adds the touch of glistening intrigue. It creates dimension with materials you would not see as easily in fabric. We have provided some options from our own website that are available for you to peruse, but as always, we have also collected a melange of gems from other shops that we feel are very suitable for Bordello Fairy Chic too. When stepping into a building, one can paint a picture of the type of clothing occupants would wear when exploring or living in its interiors. Just like when crafting a fictional tale, setting plays a role in shaping the overall tone. Applying this same logic, you can look at the key factors of Bordello Chic decor and fairy style to draw conclusions on how that could be achieved in clothing. Maximalism is very prevalent in Bordello Chic, which you can equate to never leaving your body bare of accessories. Strands of ribbons on lingerie, tiered pearl necklaces, or bejeweled flapper evening handbags. Wallpaper patterns that are of Rococo style can be found in many clothing fabrics. Gilded chandeliers in the likes of earrings or adhering coat jewellery to lapels. Swan chaise lounges have asymmetry which can be seen in one-shoulder cape dresses. The sultry amber-hued lighting often seen in the bars can inspire a colour palette too. Speaking of painting a picture, the additions of woodland motifs we spoke about earlier can of course be investigated by looking at art. Art is fundamental in folklore with all its fanciful and mysterious depictions of creatures. Fairies have fluttered their way through canvases for centuries, so we feel it is most befitting to spotlight them here. In the art, fairies are often seen dancing or indulging in hedonistic activities, much like Bordello Chic. This free-flowing movement can be achieved with gossamer fabrics or Grecian-style midi dresses. The grounds they walk are carpeted by earth's trinkets. Floral arrangements tied to the ankles, straps of shoes would give a wearable nod to this. Perfume has the ability to conjure the spirit of an outfit that goes beyond the visible nature of clothing, a phantasmal adornment lingering in the air that supports the mood of the pieces worn. Ultimately, perfume is the finishing touch to a dress, as stated by Christian Dior. We have displayed some fragrance choices in the approaching slides that are imbued with all the fantasy and nocturnal allure we have discussed.